For the last 7 years, NIC girls basketball has been dominated by one school. Penn is 57-1 during that time. But there is another school that's ready to challenge the Lady Kingsmen. St. Joseph's is young, talented, and ready to prove its mettle. Next on 46.
The TV46 Game of the Week is brought to you by Martin Supermarkets, Jordan Automotive, Imagineering Finishing Technologies, Adams Remco, JV Macri Orthodontics, Teachers Credit Union, Crown Trophies, Sweeney Julian Personal Injury Trial Attorneys, Electrical Workers Local 153, IU South Bend, Smart Cabinetry, and Ancilla College. Now, the TV46 Game of the Week.
You are looking at Alumni Gym, the site of a championship showdown in the Northern Indiana Conference. Number 3 Penn visits number 3 St. Joe on the 46 Game of the Week. And how you doing, everybody? Between the Hall of Famers, Bo Hunt and Bill Beck, it's Chuck Freeby, Bob Nagel on assignment with Notre Dame women's basketball. He'll be back with us next week. Penn, no stranger to success in the Northern Indiana Conference, and Christy Koneski's team has 4 players going to college basketball next year. They are 20-1 this season. Bo, they're loaded.
They certainly are. They can play up and down the court with anybody in the state of Indiana. And you know what this Penn basketball team reminds me of is Penn football. Penn football has had a dynasty here in Northern Indiana, and I think that's what Coach K has done here with this team. They've really brought a new dynasty to Penn, and it's the women's basketball team.
When you take a look at a challenger, though, that's what St. Joe is. While Penn's dominated in the senior class, 9 seniors on the roster, a lot of St. Joe's talent is the junior class. Can they overcome Penn's experience tonight?
Well, I think this is a great test for them here tonight. They're down at state level. They're going to face a couple teams, as in Princeton and a couple other teams that are really talented. This is going to be a great test for them tonight. Do these juniors have it to step up against Penn seniors? We'll find out.
Bill Beck working the sidelines for us tonight. And Bill, both these teams plan on making long tourney runs, but they're not alone in Northern Indiana. This is a banner year for girls basketball.
Yeah, there's a lot of cream at the cream of the crop level right now. If you look at these 2 schools in 3A and 4A, you've also got Oregon Davis, Rochester, Tippy Valley, a good Northridge team which has won 19 basketball games this year. There's a lot of really, really good teams. There's going to be some other sectionals around here. They're going to have to fight for some championships, Chuck.
We are looking forward to this one. The winner gets first place all alone in the NIC, the Jordan Automotive Keys to Win. And the coaches' interviews are next on the 46 Game of the Week. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week brought to you in part by the Jordan Auto Group. The Jordan way is easy, stress-free, and one low price. That's the Jordan Auto Group. Welcome back, everybody, to Alumni Gym as we count down to tip-off in this girls basketball showdown between Penn and St. Joseph. Time now to look at our keys to win, brought to you by the aforementioned Jordan Auto Group. And the Penn Kingsmen offer so many weapons, but their most talented player is Cameron Bohr, a 6'1 senior. Bohr is scoring 17.5 points per game and also hauling down 7 rebounds a game, but she's really been on a tear, scoring at least 20 points in 6 of their last 7 contests. She'll get some help from 5'6 junior guard Lindsey Klein. Klein also averaging in double figures with points at 10 points a game, but she can dish out assists with the best of them. She had 6 in their win over Adams. The keys to win for Christy Ulrich's Penn Lady Kingsmen.
Well, the Lady Kingsmen keys to win today is know your personnel. They need to make sure they know who's on the floor at all times. They need to defend the three-point line. St. Joe's going to try to hit from the outside early and often, and they need to pound the paint. They're going to have size advantage, so they really got to get it inside, use that size advantage to their advantage. Christy Ulrich in her 7th year at Penn.
Well, it's definitely going to be a great environment for both teams tonight. Clash at the top of the NIC, so I know that we're extremely excited for this opportunity.
So too are the St. Joe Indians, led by their backcourt, the dynamic guard Nicole Konechny, a 5'9" junior who has already committed to Southern Methodist University to play basketball once her high school days are done. Konechny averages 12 points a game and 4 rebounds a game. She gets help from 5'9" junior Daley Sullivan, who's actually the leading scorer on this team at just under 15 points a game. Sullivan can light it up from three-point range, and that'll be a key, I'm sure, for the Indians tonight.
Yeah, the keys to win for the Lady Indians, they need to protect the glass. They're going to have that size disadvantage. They have to throw a body on the girls at all times. Shoot to kill. They need to make sure when they're shooting that three-pointer that they are shooting the lights out and make that transition. That's not only offensive transition, that's defensive transition. They want to get up and down the floor, but they do not want to allow Penn to get up and down the floor. Rick Mouch in his 6th year.
You know, it's two great teams out of Northern Indiana. We know a lot about each other. What they wrote on the board about 8 kids is we know, and what they wrote about us, you know, or vice versa, you know, we know each other well. Played in summer. It's going to be a little bit of the Cleveland versus Golden State possibility with the bombs away team, maybe against some strength and power, trying to own the board. So our keys are getting them off the glass, playing in space, getting some open court, hitting some open shots, playing fearless and courageous. Both teams really, you know, want to use the game, Chuck, to get better for the playoffs.
The gym is filling up, but you've got your seat, and it's the best one in the house. Penn and St. Joe are next. Those have been our Jordan Automotive keys to win. The tip-off next on 46. This edition of the 46th Game of the Week brought to you in part by Martin's Supermarkets. Martin's, count on us for savings. Chuck Freeby, Bo Hunt, Bill Beck back with you at Alumni Gym. Good crowd on hand for this one. The starting lineups are being introduced. They're sponsored by the Apostolate of Divine Mercy of Human Life, located at the Life Center in South Bend. The series history, Penn with a dominating lead in the series. They have won the last 7, including a close 6-point win in this gym last year in 2015. Now for the starting lineups, here's Bo.
Well, the starting lineups here, you see the Penn Lady Kingsmen, Sarah Doy, Clara Carlton, Lindsey Klein, Camera Solomon, and Cameron Bohr, and head coach Christy Ulrich. And now for the St. Joe Lady Indians, being introduced as we speak, Daley Sullivan at the guard, Abby O'Connor, Nicole Konechny, Savannah Scott, and Emma Applegate.
Penn going with a 4-guard, 1-forward approach. St. Joe with 3 guards, and they list 2 forwards, but they really play 4 out, 1 in. Very similar to the style you see from Mike Gray and his Notre Dame men's team. Penn comes in with a record of 20-1. And the St. Joe Indians, well, they're no slouch either, as they come in with a record of 17-1. The officials for tonight's game, Kim Curry, Richard Gunn, and Amanda Bender. And we look forward to a good one here as they play for the NIC lead. The St. Joe Indians break the huddle. They are in the white uniforms tonight. Penn in their road blacks. I would imagine a quick start very key for both teams.
Well, it is. Both teams, they need to have some type of a quick start. Both teams are 10-0 in the conference, looking to go to that elusive 11-0 mark and put a stamp on the conference title, at least a share at that point, and look for Penn to really try to drive this and really get it down in the paint and really get up early. If they can get up early in this St. Joe team, who knows what can happen. Chuck?
Loose ball off the tip goes to the Penn Kingsmen. Penn defeating Fort Wayne South in its last ball game on Saturday. Lindsey Klein over in the corner to Camera Solomon. Down on the block to Bohr. That's not a bad idea. She puts her own rebound up and in. Cameron Bohr with the first basket of the game, and Penn offering pressure against St. Joe, which throws it away.
Well, not surprised to see Penn with that full court press, trying to really throw St. Joe out of that tempo, and they have already done it early.
Solomon, the Mental Attitude Award winner for soccer, handles the basketball outside. Klein working on O'Connor. Man-to-man defense here early on by the Indians. And Solomon got by Scott but couldn't hit the layup. St. Joe averaging 63 points a game. They like to get up and down the floor. They like to shoot a lot of threes. That's Daly Sullivan with the handle outside. Nicole Konechny for the Lady Tribe. Applegate, she'll take that shot and hit. Only a 2. They say she was on the line. Emma Applegate, a 6-foot junior. She's had some knee problems, and she's averaging 9 points a game. Klein with the dribble on O'Connor, laid it off the top of the backboard, and St. Joseph's will get the basketball.
Well, a big thank you to Barnaby's Pizza for feeding the WHME TV crew tonight. Barnaby's Pizza on Jefferson has voted the Reader's Choice Best Pizza in 2015. Nothing goes better on game day than a piping hot pizza with all your favorite toppings. Stop in this weekend at Barnaby's Pizza, pass away from St. Joe High School.
Konechny handles the ball up top for the Tribe. They only make about 12 turnovers per game. Konechny with the drive for 2. That's the young lady who's headed to SMU, a transfer from LaPorte. St. Joe with the early lead. Stepping outside for the 3, it's Claire Carlton misfiring. Konechny comes the other way. Applegate wide open for 3. Off the mark. O'Connor tried to shag down the rebound. She got it. Konechny now for 3. And it's a 7-2 St. Joe lead. We talked about a quick start. This is huge for St. Joe's confidence.
It is. St. Joe is, everybody coming in knows St. Joe's the underdog in this game. But you know what? A 7-2 start, that shows that they have confidence that they can win this game, and they don't believe that they're the underdog. They believe that they can win this game.
Sarah Doyle left it off for Solomon. Now the drive down the baseline and the layup good by Lindsey Klein. Klein, a 3-year varsity player, 5'6" junior with her first basket of the game. Konechny nearly had it stripped. Instead, O'Connor's got a 2-on-1 going the other way. Applegate got bumped, no call, and the rebound to Solomon. Here comes Klein into the paint. She misfires, and here comes O'Connor. The pace perhaps favoring St. Joe right now. Sullivan for 3. Way off the mark. And the rebound to Applegate. Sullivan underneath gets the layup. Timeout called by Penn. Christy Konechny-Ulrich not happy with her defense right now. 5:05 to go in the first, and the Lady Tribe come out firing. They're up 5 on 46. This edition of the 46th Game of the Week brought to you in part by Ancilla College. We believe in you. 9-4, the Lady Indians on top. Students have come out for this one tonight. That's not often the case at girls basketball games, but everybody in this place knows somebody from Penn or St. Joe.
That's definitely true, and they're still starting to come in and roll in the doors and having a packed house here tonight, and what a great game for this great matchup between these two great girls teams.
I think there's also a few folks around from some of the other area schools who might not be playing tonight too, because they knew this would be a good one. Bohr tries to go inside, squeezed around Scott and got the basket. That's a nice move by Cameron Bohr, and you can see why Lehigh is so high to get her. Konechny now racing the other way. She's got the numbers. She finds Applegate on the baseline, who drove, and a charging call on Emma Applegate. St. Joe did not execute the break very well that time. They didn't have good spacing.
Yeah, they kind of collided on the one side rather than keeping the spacings on each side on that. But, the refs seemed like they're going to let the girls play a little bit. I was a little surprised. It was kind of a late whistle, and then they called a charge on that. A little surprised on that call, but that happens.
Hannah Mouch will check in for Emma Applegate, as Lindsey Klein was the player who took the charge. 9-6 in favor of St. Joe. Caitlin Moreni coming back from a foot injury in the game now for Penn. It was a missed shot by Klein, and we've got a whistle and a foul called. I think this is going to go on St. Joe. Amanda Bender with the call against Savannah Scott. That is her first and the team's second. You get a really good look at it here from our down low camera. Brandon Pitts working that one on the 46 Adams Remco copy.
That's a tough one to call because she has control of the ball, but yet her body was out of control and knocked the girl out in front of her there on Klein. I'd like to thank Rocco's Their family makes everything from scratch daily, using only the freshest artisan ingredients, from the original handmade pizza dough and their signature pizza and pasta sauces to their traditional and signature pastas and subs, all made the same way Rocco did in 1951. Come savor the tradition with the family that brought pizza to South Bend, Rocco's.
Mouch for three. Off the iron, no good, and a rebound, and the ball apparently went over the top of the backboard in the eyes of Kim Curry, so it'll be awarded to Penn midway through the first quarter. Plenty of action so far as you take a look at Christy Ulrich. 150 career wins in just 7 seasons at Penn. Don't have to be a math whiz to know that's more than 20 a year. A nice drive by Lindsey Klein, and Penn has closed the gap to 1 at 9-8.
Yeah, with those 150 wins, she does have 20 losses, though. I mean, that's an awful lot, you know?
Meanwhile, on the press, Solomon with the steal. Penn looking for the lead. Moreni working against Mouch, showing no ill effects from that foot injury. Solomon puts her head down and kicks it outside to Carlton. No good. And the rebound to Daly Sullivan, but she lost it out of bounds. It'll be Penn ball. As you take a look at Rick Mouch in his 6th year on the St. Joe bench, graduate of Marquette University. He's won 2 sectionals here at St. Joe. Solomon thought about the three. Instead, her head and shoulder fake got her by Scott, but she couldn't finish.
She's got a quick first step there.
Very explosive. The daughter of Notre Dame assistant basketball coach Anthony Solomon. St. Joe trying to get some spacing as Penn goes to a 2-3 zone. Konechny will handle it up top. Mouch had O'Connor on the baseline, didn't see her. So Sullivan launches a three. It's off the mark, and the rebound goes out of bounds. Who gets it? St. Joe does. St. Joe had problems with its shooting on Monday against a Divine Savior team from Wisconsin that won the state championship last year. It's the school that Enrique Ogumbawale from Notre Dame went to. And in that game, St. Joe was just 5 for 28 from three-point range.
That's one thing they cannot do tonight against a good Penn team. They can't have a shooting night like that. And here early, we've seen that they're going to throw it up. Anybody and everybody, if you got an open shot, you throw it up. You make a good attempt at that basket, but right now they're not falling down for them as much.
Now, as you've probably determined at home, the call was reversed by Kim Curry. Penn gets possession of the basketball, and Lindsey Klein drives right in for an easy 2. She has 6, and Penn has the lead. Sullivan working the other way. That's an area of her game that has really improved over the years, her ability to finish around the rim. 4 points now for Daly Sullivan. She's had a few coaches from D1 schools looking at her, including Georgetown last Monday. Oh, nice move off the pick and roll for Cameron Burr. It's Burr and Klein doing all the scoring right now for Penn. They are up 12-11. Konechny caught in a trap, but she was able to get out. Thank you, Elvis. Here's Mouch the other way to Sullivan. Off the bottom of the backboard, but ball knocked out of bounds by St. Joe. Penn will get possession. St.
Joe's doing a great job of breaking the press and getting up the floor. Problem is Penn's playing great defense back with just one person, and a lot of times it's 2-on-1 St. Joe.
But a lot of times St. Joe isn't getting the spacing that it needs to make that one person work. Now Penn had a chance at a transition basket, and instead Scott's called for her second foul.
You're exactly right. It's like they're coming to the basket and they're actually going to the side that they already have somebody at, rather than attacking the opposite side of the basket.
Emma Applegate comes in. She'll take the place of Abby O'Connor, so Scott will play with 2 fouls. And Lindsey Christ checks in for Penn. She's a 6'4 senior. She takes the place of Caitlin Moreni. It'll be interesting to see how much Moreni plays on that foot tonight, coming back from the injury. In the meantime, Solomon, who's just got a tremendous amount of strength, finds Boer underneath. She couldn't hit the layup, and Scott takes the rebound away. Indians on the run. Mouch to Sullivan down the lane over Chris. Couldn't hit, and Chris gets the rebound. Tough to deal with 6'4 down there. On the held ball, the alternating possession goes to St. Joe.
Well, the TV 46 Game of the Week is brought to you by First Federal Savings Bank, your local home mortgage experts and home of Go Green Checking.
Minute 28 to go, first quarter. The winner's sole possession of the lead in the NIC with just one conference game to go. And St. Joe with another unforced turnover. The Indians jumped out to a 5-point lead. Since that time, Penn's been on an 8-2 run. Bohr going the other way, pops the shot over Scott and hits. Cameron Bohr with 8 points already in this one. She's approaching the 1,300 mark for her career. So this is not unexpected outburst from the 6'1 senior. Sullivan changing hands. What a pretty move.
What a nice move by Daly there.
St. Joe back within 1. Klein will handle things up between the circles. Stutter step move. Now Chris looking for some help. Doesn't want to put that ball on the floor. Finally gave it off to Klein. Solomon hawked by Mouch. Solomon, nice little move to sway Mouch away. Carlton gets the offensive rebound. Klein down the lane. Couldn't hit, but got her own rebound. St. Joe not boxing anybody out, but somehow they get the ball. Mouch switched hands to go by Solomon. Pull-up jumper and drew the foul. Called against Bohr.
All the banging and everything that we had down here, and you know, get down here when you're taking the shot and they call kind of a touch foul there, but St. Joe needs to box out. They need to throw a body on somebody in that possession. Penn did a great job of crashing the boards with all their girls and really going after it. And St. Joe got lucky on that possession.
Hannah Mouch only a 48% foul shooter on the year. The 5'3 senior comes up empty there. Teresa Carpenter checking into the game for the first time for St. Joe. And Mouch will get one more.
Imaginary Finishing Technologies is a world-class finishing company. They specialize in plating, coating, testing, and consulting services. IFT serves the aerospace, automotive, medical, and military and defense departments. Just like the teams in this game, IFT is working toward a great finish.
Not the best of finishes to the first quarter, but nevertheless, this one has been as advertised so far. St. Joe came out firing, and behind the shooting of Nicole Konechny and Cameron Burr, we've got a good one. 14 all on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week brought to you in part by our friends at Adams Remco. They will never let you down. Nor does our sideline reporter. Bill Beck subbing in for Bo tonight as Bo comes up here. Bill's sideline report sponsored by J.V. Macri Orthodontics. Your thoughts on that first quarter, Bill?
I'll tell you a couple things I noticed here, Chuck. You got to like the way that St. Joe ran its offense pace-wise. When they got in the half court, it played right into Penn's defense. They didn't look real comfortable in a true half-court set, more than a couple of passes. They've got to keep the pace going. On Penn on the other end, I thought they did a great job of working the baseline, taking advantage of St. Joe's lack of defense in the bottom end of the paint, just abusing the baseline on both sides of the floor.
I think all of Penn's points probably came in the paint in that first quarter.
Yeah, a majority of them did. And with their offensive set, they did a lot of backdoor passing and a lot of maybe offensive rebounds as well of shots going up and in. So
now you get to see what kind of adjustments both teams will make here in the second quarter. Penn will start the quarter with the basketball. 14 all. Camera Solomon gets it off to Carlton. Her shot's been off the mark tonight. In the game now for Penn is Tia Chambers. She wears number 30. And Chambers gets the ball down low, working on Applegate for two. So Tia Chambers, a 5'11 sophomore, checks right into the game and makes a basket for Penn to give them the lead. O'Connor thought about the three, eschews it for the two, and missed badly. The rebound comes down to Carlton, but she has it taken away and put in by Carpenter. Teresa Carpenter, who's really a blue-collar player, comes up with a big hoop, and then Penn throws it away.
Well, that's a great possession and a half there for St. Joe. And you know, O'Connor turned down a three-pointer. She was wide open and then went inside And what a great job by Carpenter, really staying with that possession and really trying to, put pressure on Penn there.
Those are the kinds of little things that Carpenter really brings to the table in her role with this St. Joe team. She's not a big scorer. She only averages a little more than a point a game, but she gives them a lot of what Rick Mouch calls energy plays. Bad pass by Konechny, stolen away by Klein. She'll go the distance and miss. Sullivan may have gotten a piece of that. Klein out hustles everybody for the rebound, though, and then reversed field and went in for two.
Everybody cleared out of the lane, and she just went back right in where she came from, and nobody was there. What a great job by Klein.
O'Connor kicks it outside. She didn't want to go for that left-hand shot. Man-to-man defense being used by Penn here, and Konechny misses off the back iron. Chambers brought that rebound down and managed to get rid of it. Penn by 2, early second quarter. The Kingsmen, quite frankly, have not been challenged in a lot of games this year, and especially in the NIC. Shot out of the corner for Sarah Doy is good. That's a three-pointer for Doy. And Penn with its biggest lead of the night at 21-16.
That's a big three to get Penn up by 5 at this point, and St. Joe has to respond back.
And Applegate almost did, but instead the rebound comes to Moreni. So St. Joe starting to struggle with the shot, and this was something that Rick Mouch feared. Moreni down the lane, misses Applegate. That time there was a box out by the Indians. Konechny decides not to go 1-on-3. Discretion is often the better part of valor. But we were talking about how the Lady Kingsmen have not had a lot of close games, especially in the NIC. John Glenn trailing by 22 is the closest. Konechny comes back, though, with a three sponsored by the Apostolate of Divine Mercy of Human Life. She has 8, and we're back to a 2-point game.
Oh, what a great shot there. And we'd like to check Martin's weekly ad circular or go online to the website to check out this weekly's special valued prices. You can save 3 ways at Martin's Supermarket: advertised price, price drops, and warehouse values.
Chris on the baseline, shot it right over Applegate for 2. Lindsey Chris, the 6'4 senior, who's headed to Tennessee Martin, gets her first basket of the game. O'Connor tries to drive on Chris, just too tall for her that way, so she hook shotted it and it couldn't hit. O'Connor had been playing better as of late, but she's struggling a little bit with her shot tonight. Moreni now with the basketball. Chris, she'll take the 3. Probably not the shot that Christy Ulrich wanted to see right there. Sullivan, nice job with the handle, took it all the way in and traveled, according to Amanda Bender. Wholesale substitutions.
Yeah, I'm not sure if she actually traveled there. I think it was more of it just kind of looked weird, and so they called the travel on there. It looked like she did. Here you can see a great copy of it. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's a travel. Did get that extra step in there.
You know, a lot of people will try to tell you that's the Euro step, but we're in America. O'Connor loses it out of bounds. It'll be Penn basketball.
Ancilla College will help you build a better future. Degrees in nursing, criminal justice, business, and more. Financial aid is available. Remember, your FAFSA is due by March 10th to qualify for grants and scholarships. Live and learn at Ancilla's beautiful, safe campus near Plymouth. Learn more at www.ancilla.edu.
Hannah Mouch in the corner finds a wide open Savannah Scott, who takes the jumper and hits. Oh, it landed like a hummingbird with sore feet. Dancing around on the rim, finally dropped in, and there's a travel on Chambers.
That's just what St. Joe was looking for, a quick bucket and a turnover by Penn, and they're right back in this game.
23-21, Penn by 2. We're in the middle of the second quarter, coming up at halftime. You'll meet our TCU Student Athletes of the Week from both sides, and I think you'll be impressed. Not that they're smarter than the guy interviewing them, because that always happens. Here's Mouch into the land of the Giants, couldn't hit. Scott into the paint. Now Mouch tries to go there. Finds O'Connor open for 3 in the lead, but it wouldn't go. The rebound out of bounds to Penn.
One of the things I've kind of noticed about St. Joe's shooting here, and we talked about their poor shooting performance their last game, their shots are really, when they miss, they're not even close.
Right, yeah.
I mean, they're not even like hitting in the rim and coming out. They're not even hitting rim on some of these shots.
23-21 Penn. Solomon directs traffic up top. Bohr and Applegate really battling down in the post. Bohr got open but couldn't hit the shot, and Applegate got mugged on the rebound. Chambers called for the foul, her first, the team's second.
For your next special occasion, call on Martin's Flower Market to create a custom arrangement. Some arrangements can be delivered. Ask your nearest Martin's Flower Market specialist for details.
A little surprised here if Penn's not coming with the full court pressure. And they are going to cheat somebody up that way because they've been going with the full court press all night and giving St. Joe an array of problems with it. Applegate and Konechny play catch in the backcourt. And Applegate nearly threw that one away. They're going to have to hurry, and they finally did get it across, but the ball knocked out of bounds on a fine play by Sarah Doy, the sophomore co-captain. Not often you see a sophomore accorded that honor, especially on a team with 9 seniors. And Christy Konechny says leadership is one of the areas, probably the area where her team has developed the most this season. But I'm sure she wants some leadership for the future. Scott airballs the shot, and it'll be Penn ball.
Well, tonight's Smart Play of the Game will be highlighted at the end of tonight's contest, and that's powered by Smart Cabinetry, customer focused, budget conscious, and rapid delivery.
It's almost as though the pace has worn down the players a little bit. You can tell that they don't quite have the energy in their shots here later in their half.
You're exactly right. I mean, that first quarter and a half, they were going up and down like it was a horse race, back and forth, just going as fast as they can, and now it's kind of slowed to a kind of a moderate pace, working the offense a little bit, working some shots, and it's kind of slowed down just a tad.
Well, as the foul is called against St. Joe, we'll remind you that this edition of the Game of the Week is brought to you in part by J.B. Macri Orthodontics. Trust your smile to an expert. The foul is called on Emma Applegate. That'll be her second, and it'll send Cameron Bohr to the line where she is a 75% free throw shooter and misfires on the first.
Well, head coach Mike Lightfoot and the Bethel Pirates invite you to join them for a game this season on the campus of Bethel College in Mishawaka. Bring the entire family for a game and enjoy college basketball at its finest. Visit them at bethelcollege.edu for a complete basketball schedule. And the Pirates wish the teams in this game a great finish.
Mouch is wide open at the other end of the floor, but St. Joe didn't see her. Indians trail by 3. Sullivan working against Solomon. Now Mouch drives right past Klein and puts it in. Hannah Mouch, that's something she wouldn't have done last year, but in this her senior season, she's become more aggressive going into the paint.
Well, that was a great dribble drive, penetration by Mouch there, and what a great bucket. Put him down by 1 now.
Less than 2 minutes to go in the half. Rick Mouch, the head coach, going to go to his bench here at the next dead ball. Klein gets the pass back and puts it off the glass. No good. Carlton went racing in for the rebound, but travels. It was great anticipation by Claire Carlton. She just couldn't control her body.
It was. She came in, great body position and everything, got control of the ball. Looked like she might have came down on an ankle, and she couldn't control her feet there and fell down on the ground.
Killian Mountford, you saw her a moment ago. She checks into the game for the first time for St. Joe in this contest. O'Connor nearly traveled. Konechny nearly threw it away. O'Connor pulls the trigger, and it rims out. Great box out by Sarah Doy and the rest of the Lady Kingsmen. Klein through the lane, lays it up for 2. Lindsey Klein with 10, and Penn is up by 3. Sullivan behind the back, found an open path, but couldn't hit. The rebound comes down to Solomon. She pushes it ahead for Klein, and Klein controlled it and put it in. What a play.
What a great start for Klein tonight. 12 points.
Sullivan with a little sidestep, but she couldn't finish. On the held ball, no held ball. It's a timeout called by Penn. Christy Konechny Ulrich really wanted a foul called or something. She is all over Richard Gunn, but there will be no call, and instead a timeout with 41.8 seconds to go in the half. And Penn leading 28-23 on 46. Chuck Freeby, Bo Hunt, Bill Beck back with you at Alumni Gym. You look into the St. Joe huddle. Rick Mouch's Lady Indians find themselves with their biggest deficit of the night at 5 points, 28-23. And you have to wonder right here, Bo, if Penn might be tempted to just hold for one shot. They've got a cushion for the first time in the game.
Yeah, they're up by 5 points again the second time. And this would be a great opportunity for them to hold for one shot here and make St. Joe come out and maybe put a little pressure on them.
St. Joe also with 2 players with 2 fouls. One of them on the court right now, Savannah Scott. She wears 23. Solomon has the ball. Scott guards her. Mountford guarding Bohr inside. And they go to Bohr inside for, she missed the layup. And Mountford and Bohr go tumbling backwards on the alternating possession. It'll go to St. Joe.
Yeah, the Jordan Automotive Group in Mishawaka experienced a difference with the Jordan Way. Easy, stress-free, one low price.
Well, that's a huge break for St. Joe because now if they control the clock, they can get the last shot. But I will tell you, end of quarter situations have been difficult at times for the Indians this year. Knesny was triple teamed. Mountford traveled. And
step with their pivot foot. Yeah, step with their pivot foot properly, but then took one more step and pivoted.
So with 10 seconds left, let's see what kind of shot Penn gets. They'll look for Bohr on a backdoor cut. Blocked by Mountford. Held ball goes to Penn. Mouch, I think, wound up getting a little bit of an elbow in the eye as all the bodies went flying there. 0.4 tenths of a second left here. So all you can do is a tip. You cannot do a catch and release. And that's why Lindsey Chris, the 6'4 sophomore, is coming into the game for Penn. Or excuse me, 6'4 senior.
When you talk about it slowing down pace-wise, it's picked up here in the last minute and a half.
So they tried to throw it back out to Klein, but that had no chance of going. Penn goes to the locker room with the lead, and we go down to the court side. Bill Beck is standing by with Christy Kineski-Ulrich.
Coach, you got 5-point lead. Do you like the pace you're on right now defensively?
Well, defensively, we're missing some assignments. There's no question that they're letting these girls play right now. They're all over each other from a physicality standpoint. Tempo is definitely high, and so is the level of intensity.
First quarter and a half, Chuck and Bo were talking about it. There was a lot of it. There almost too much adrenaline from both sides, you think?
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, we had a lot of opportunities. You know, we're getting lots of looks, and we just need to make sure we're finishing those shots under the rim.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Bill. Our Dr. Macri Orthodontic Sideline Report leads us into our halftime report where you'll meet our TCU Student Athletes of the Week. It's been a dandy. Penn leads St. Joe 28-23 on 46. Time of tonight's game between Penn and St. Joe. Time now to meet our Student Athletes of the Week. They're brought to us by our friends at TCU. Find out how you can be a member. Visit them online at tcunet.com. Two terrific representatives of these two institutions, Cameron Brewer from Penn and Hannah Mouch from St. Joe. We'll talk with the visitors first, and Cameron is a 4.0 student at Penn High School while also being a standout on the basketball team, perhaps a candidate for the Indiana All-Star team. How do you balance your athletic success and your academic success?
I think just good time management, like knowing when things are due and when you have to get done, and knowing your basketball schedule and not putting it off to the last minute and just being able to do that.
Of course, it helps when you have a successful team around you, too, and you certainly have this year, 20-1. Talk about this team and how it's gelled this year.
I think it's just a really good group of girls. Like, we've been playing with each other since forever. We have 9 seniors, so I think just the team chemistry is really good this year.
And then, of course, in the classroom with you doing so well, obviously somebody had to instill those values in it. Who was it?
I'd say my parents. Like, they just raised us to know, like, you have to do good in the classroom first in order to, like, be able to do the extra things.
They've raised a good basketball family, too. Her sister plays at the University of San Diego, has a game tonight. When you get done, though, you're not going west, you're going east to Lehigh. What appealed to you about that program?
I love all the girls there, and the coaches seemed really cool and had a really good program there. So I just had a good combination between academics and athletics.
And then what do you think you want to do after your basketball days are done?
I'm hoping to stay in the sports area, maybe physical therapy or something. I'm not exactly sure yet, though.
Well, I'm sure you'll succeed in whatever you do. This is Cameron Bohr from Penn High School. On the other side, we have Hannah Mouch. She is a 3.9 student at St. Joseph's High School. That's not an easy thing to do. I know the rigors of the curriculum here and the rigors of being a basketball player. So how do you balance those two?
I think it's definitely having to have a good schedule written out. I usually try and write out my homework for the night and then schedule what time I have basketball and then what time I'm going to do my homework, and try to get family time in there too. But yeah, definitely homework takes up a lot of time, so I have to figure out how to manage that.
Family time is also on the court time for you. Your dad happens to be the head coach here. What's it been like playing for him?
It's a lot of fun. I absolutely love it. Some people just wonder, how does the relationship stay at home? But I think it's great. We try and separate as much as possible. He shows me plays at home and stuff, but we do a nice job of separating the basketball from the mom or dad and daughter time. So.
Who else has been an inspiration for you in your success?
Definitely my mom. She always supports me. She's probably my #1 fan. Also my brother. He beats me up in the driveway when we play one-on-one, so he's helped with that too. And just trainers and coaches that I've had throughout the years.
Now, I know you haven't decided on school yet, but you do kind of have a little bit of a life plan, I know. What do you want to do when you're done with your college days?
Well, I've actually gone back and forth from a lot of different career perspectives. I've thought about physical therapy. I've also thought about teaching, and I've more recently thought about optometry.
Very good. Well, I'm sure you will succeed no matter what you do. Hannah Mouch from St. Joseph High School and Cameron Bohr from Penn, our Student Athletes of the Week. They're brought to us by our friends at TCU. Find out how you can become a member. Visit them online at tcunet.com. Halftime stats and highlights come your way next. You're watching the TV46 High School Basketball Game of the Week. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week brought to you in part by Crown Trophy. They're nationally known and locally owned. Halftime here at Alumni Gym on the campus of St. Joe High School, where the Penn Lady Kingsmen have a 28-23 lead over their Northern Indiana Conference rivals, St. Joe. Chuck Freeby and Bo Hunt high atop courtside. Your thoughts on that first half, partner?
Well, as Christy point blank said it, they're letting them play out there, and they really are. Very high intensity quarter and a half, and then it kind of slowed down a little bit. And that's what happens in a game like this. You have two teams. They each only have one loss on the year. They're playing for first place in the conference, basically for conference championship here tonight. And they're playing for bragging rights in Northern Indiana as well. So you're going to have that intensity and everything. I look for it to maybe slow down a little bit and maybe get into a little bit of a rhythm here in the second half.
Let's show you how it got to be this way here at Alumni Gym. End-to-end action in the first quarter as Daly Sullivan will kick it outside to Nicole Konechny for the three-pointer. St. Joe jumped out to an early 5-point lead, but Penn chiseled his way back by going inside. Cameron Burr had a strong first half with 9 points. Daly Sullivan can drive it, though, too. She had 6 in the first half for the Indians. Sarah Doyle will light it up from 3. This gave Penn its biggest lead at 1 point, 5 points. And it's the lead they have at halftime as well. Konechny leading St. Joe with 8. But the leading scorer on the floor is this young lady, Lindsey Klein, had a great half, 12 points. Penn leading 28-23. Nothing in the stat field really stands out except for the Penn's got a slight edge in rebounds, a slight edge in turnovers. That's enough in a game like this to make a difference.
It is, and they're leading by 5 points, and I think that's the difference right there. Shooting percentage is pretty much similar. Three-pointers pretty much similar. So, you look at overall, a little bit of edge here, a little bit of edge there. They have a 5-point lead going in the second half.
And St. Joe can't afford to go 2 for 9 on three-pointers in the second half. Remember, we told you they were 5 for 28 Monday, so 7 for 37 on the week. The Indians have to find their groove in the second half if they're going to knock off the reigning champs of the Northern Indiana Conference. 28-23, Penn leads St. Joe. We're back with second half play-by-play after this on 46. This edition of the 46th Game of the Week brought to you in part by IU South Bend. They are fulfilling the promise. Well, what kind of adjustments does St. Joe make here in the second half, down by 5? That's the question we turn to for our Macri Orthodontic Sideline Report. Bill Beck, what do you got?
Well, Chuck, there'd be the adjustments you'd think they'd want to make. They've got to really play a lot better on the backside defense. Their paint defense, Coach Rich Mouth said this was not very good at all. They also want to find a way to kind of keep this tempo at a higher level. They're getting open shots, he says. They're just not hitting them right now. They've got to hit some more shots.
They do, and I think they might want to look at their shot distribution because their best shooter, Nicole Konechny, only took 4 shots in the first half.
Hit 3 of those shots as well.
So 28-23, Penn with the lead. St. Joe will have the basketball to open the second half, and we'll see right away how the Indians can do in keeping the pace going. Sullivan handles the ball against Solomon. Here's Mouch, had it knocked away, and a foul called on Solomon. Well, I wonder if we'll have one of those ball games where you see things called a little bit differently in the second half.
Well, you hate to see something change up, but did it have to happen? Well, yeah, I mean, they did let him play a little bit, and it kind of got a little too physical there in the first half. So we expect the whistle to blow just a little bit more here in the second half.
Yeah, I think that's the point Christy Ulrich is trying to make to Kim Curry right now is, you know, that you didn't call that in the first half. But nevertheless, Sullivan kicks it outside. Konechny working on Solomon. Goes left-handed. Couldn't get it past her. Throws it outside to Mouch. Good sticky man-to-man defense here by Penn. Konechny, pull-up 3.
Nice step back.
It's sponsored by the Apostle of Divine Mercy of Human Life, Nicole Konechny, with 11 points now on the night. It's a 2-point game. As I said, you got to get the ball in the hands of your best shooter.
Well, that was a great step back by Nicole there. I mean, just a great move, great defense by Solomon, but she was able to get that separation.
Solomon couldn't hit, but Carlton's done a masterful job on the boards tonight. She just can't get a shot to drop. Carlton now with 6 rebounds in the game. Mouch trying to go right down 9:33. Instead, Sullivan working on Solomon. Applegate is part of the weave. Konechny managed to get a blow-by step but missed the shot. Sullivan collects the loose change. Sullivan into the lane, threw up a hope and a prayer. Applegate up and in, and we're tied. .28 all. Solomon will handle the ball up top. Applegate and Bohr banging bodies down in the paint. Here's Klein. She got the step on Mouch, but the underhand scoop wouldn't go. Scott has done a nice job on the boards tonight for St. Joe. Mouch, good pass to Konechny. She goes in strong for the bucket and the bump. And they call a charge. No basket, they call a charge on Konechny. You get another copy courtesy of Adams Remco, and you can make the call. It's Sarah Doy who draws the charge, and it did look like she was set. Of course, it's slow motion.
Yeah, it is slow motion, but it looked like she was set, but it looked like she moved into the path after she had already taken off and was in progression towards that area.
2 charges tonight drawn by Penn. Nice spinning move by Bohr, but she can't convert. Penn has opened up very cold here in the second half. Konechny racing down the court for 2. This time she won't be denied the go-ahead basket. And the Indians take the lead, and a timeout called by Christy Konechny-Ulrich. With 5:22 to go in the third, St. Joe opens the second half on a 7-0 run, and they lead the Kingsmen by 2 on 46. This edition of the 46th Game of the Week brought to you in part by Smart Cabinetry. They believe in the youth of our country.
Well, the Apostle of Divine Mercy in Service of Human Life offers legal, medical, spiritual, and financial assistance to mothers so that they can choose life for their babies. The Apostolate and the Chapel of Divine Mercy are located at the Life Center in South Bend, and if you're interested in getting involved or donating, call or text 574-286-7860.
The March for Life will be held tomorrow in South Bend as Penn and St. Joe atop the NIC, both at 10-0. Mishawaka and John Glenn both having nice seasons, as is Adams. Eagles got a good win last night. As you check the 3A poll, there's St. Joe at number 3. Keep an eye on Ann Seacrest and Tippy Valley at 5th. They went all the way to the state finals last year. And in 4A, Penn, if they win this game, could move up to number 2 perhaps, because Columbus North, the number 1 team in the state, lost the other night to Heritage Christian, the number 2 team in 3A. But Homestead, an awfully good team in there, and they score points in bunches down there.
They do, and what a great representatives that we have here in the north with Penn and St. Joe in those 2 classes respectively.
And don't forget, as Bill mentioned at the top of the broadcast, in 2A, Oregon Davis and Rochester run 1-2. Sullivan called for the foul against Claire Carlton, and that'll send Carlton, the 5'10 senior who's headed to the University of Indianapolis, to the foul line where she's a 69% foul shooter. You get another copy of the play courtesy of Adams Remco.
Oh, that was all ball.
At the beginning, yes.
Little arm on that one.
Then it came down and she wound up looking like the Venus de Milo. Carlton with her first point of the night. She has a sister that plays at Coastal Carolina.
At Rocco's, their family makes everything from scratch daily, using only the freshest artisan ingredients, from the original handmade pizza dough that their signature pizza and pasta sauces to their traditional and signature pastas and subs. All made the same way Rocco did back in 1951. That's Rocco's in South Bend.
Applegate tried to lead Konechny with the pass, instead threw it away, and Penn will have the chance to take the lead. Solomon will bring it over the timeline for the Lady Kingsmen as we go under 5 minutes to go in the third. Solomon goes all the way to the hoop for 2. Camera Solomon with her first basket of the game. The 5'6 senior had been scoring 6 points a contest. Sullivan tried to go behind the back. Ball gets loose. Penn gets it. Solomon this time kicks it outside. Bohr will take the 3. Rattles out. Carlton, another rebound. Claire Carlton doing a monster job on the boards tonight for Penn. 4 points all in this quarter. Mouch thought about teeing up the 3. Konechny has had the hot hand, but she had double coverage that time. Doy trying to guard Konechny in a battle of 20s. Sullivan will tee it up from 3, way short, but Konechny got the rebound, blocked by Bohr. Here comes Penn the other way. Nobody stopping ball. Bohr took it the distance. Carlton comes up with the loose change. Or excuse me, that's Carlton. Klein had the loose change. Solomon the rebound, good. Camera Solomon with 4. Suddenly Penn finds itself up 6. They're on an 8-0 run. The timeout worked very well for Christy Konechny-Ulrich.
Well, it sure did, and it kind of slowed St. Joe's shooting down. They've been getting the shots, they just haven't been able to knock them down as well.
Mouch needs this one and got it. It's sponsored by the Apostolate of Divine Mercy of Human Life, and now St. Joe will take a 30-second timeout, trailing by 3.
Imagineering Finishing Technologies is the world leader in metal finishing solutions. The team at IFT sets the standards in the aerospace, automotive, medical, and defense and military industries. Platings and coatings, dry film, ceramic, and painted finishes, along with testing and consulting, provide expertise and have earned national accreditation. Call toll-free 888-802-0827 to reach our team, and like the teams in this game, we're working towards a great finish.
This is a great girls matchup, and we have a great guys matchup next Friday night down at the Panther Pit. Number 7 Warsaw, undefeated on the year, goes down there to take on Aaron Wolf's number 3 Northwood Panthers. The Northern Lakes Conference boys lead at stake in that one. You'll see it Friday night 11, Saturday morning at 9 on your home for more sports more often, TV 46. A big three by Hannah Mouch cuts the lead in half with 3:21 to go in the third. It's been a seesaw affair here at Alumni Gym. Camera Solomon guarded by Mouch. Carpenter checked into the game that time for St. Joe. She draws the assignment of guarding Klein. Steal by St. Joe. Konechny coming the other way. Applegate. Bohr covered her up well. Now Konechny takes it in, and Bohr blocks another shot. And Konechny, no, there's an elbowing foul called. They're going to say Konechny got a hold of the elbow of Bohr, and Rick Mouch can't believe the call.
He was looking for a push off by Bohr, and there might have been, but it looked like the arm, here you can see the block.
The block was clean. That was not even debatable. Here's where he's looking for the elbow, right where the logo came in.
I saw it. I saw it there behind the logo.
Double team, ball tipped by Konechny. There's Carpenter with a steal and the assist. You talked at halftime off camera about Carpenter being a spark plug.
She is. I really like the way she comes out off the bench and really gets out there and gives her everything that they have on the floor, when she just goes 100 miles an hour and tries to get every ounce that she can when she's out there on the floor.
Just when it looked like Penn had some breathing room, St. Joe with a possession that can give them the lead. Konechny wants to push it. Applegate steps into the three. Rebound, guess who? Carpenter couldn't put it in. Held ball, goes to Penn.
Called a foul there on Applegate on that.
Oh, wow. That is the third on Emma Applegate, and she does not know what she did. Maybe we'll figure it out here looking at the copy, courtesy of Adams Remco. Got to tell you, Richard Gunn, I think you missed that one, friend. Solomon might have gotten away with a travel. Klein goes off Carpenter's foot and out of bounds. It'll be Penn ball.
Well, stay tuned tonight after the contest to find out which play makes a smart play of the game, and that is powered by Smart Cabinetry. They're customer-focused, budget-conscious, and rapid delivery.
Sarah Doy checks back in for Penn. Daley Sullivan re-enters for St. Joe. And the trainer, Rachel Dennison, will check on Emma Applegate. That ball tipped out of bounds. It'll go to St. Joe. Applegate has had some knee problems throughout the year, but I don't know that that's what is being worked on here. She might have a little bit of blood on her leg. St. Joe working against the Penn pressure. Abby O'Connor handles the ball up top. O'Connor trying to work on Cameron Bohr. Got around her, but had nowhere to throw it. Konechny rescues it to Carpenter. Couldn't convert the layup. Here's Bohr coming the other way with a head of steam. Carlton for three. It rims out. And the rebound comes to O'Connor. O'Connor got body swiped that time. No call. Rick Mouch wanted a timeout. Held ball, alternating possession would go to Penn. And now Amanda Bender giving Rick Mouch a warning over on the sideline. Boy, Solomon appeared to have run right through O'Connor that time.
Oh, man. I mean, what a game we got going on here. We got a lot of emotion going out there.
Yep.
You know, a lot is on the line here. And, you know, it's one of those games where everything's going to be dictated, and they're going to look at every little aspect of every little game, and everything's going to be criticized on every little thing.
Well, Mouch definitely fouled Bohr there.
Yeah.
There wasn't any question about that one. 5 team fouls now on St. Joe. Solomon handles the ball and now gives it over to Doy. Carlton. Boy, all kinds of banging around down in the paint. Solomon goes bowling for dollars, and we'll see what the call is.
Called the charge on that again. That's a third charging call that he's made tonight.
So Kim Curry calls the charge on Camera Solomon. It's her second foul, also the second on Penn. And Christy Koneski-Ulrich will go back to the bench. She'll put Lindsey Klein back into the game to take the place of Claire Carlton.
I think that was one of the things a little bit of the St. Joe crowd was getting upset with was Penn. St. Joe had 5 fouls to Penn's 1, and almost all the way through the third quarter here, and now it's only the second one on Penn. 5-2 at this point.
O'Connor handling the ball against Bohr. Now Chris steps off on her. You go from 6'1" to 6'4". That's not easy. Less than a minute to go, third quarter. St. Joe only down 1. Sullivan didn't want to have to try to shoot over Chris. You have a 6'4" girl in the high school level. That's a game changer.
Oh, yeah, it definitely is. I mean, the height inside and the presence, a lot of these guards are, 5'6", 5'7", somewhere around there, and somebody that's 6'4" has so much advantage of the length, and you can't get that little roll shot off inside.
Sullivan into the paint. O'Connor. Let's see if St. Joe holds for one shot here.
They're really working the ball here for the last almost minute now.
Imagineering Finishing Technologies setting the standard for metal finishing solutions here and around the world. The IFT team proud of the effort they make, just like the teams in tonight's game. They share the same goal. It's a great finish. Sullivan has it stripped by Solomon. Penn will get the last shot. Carlton, no, Klein couldn't put it in. And the quarter comes to an end. Woo, it's been like playing with Rock'em Sock'em robots, hasn't it? Pieces fall off, you just put them back on. Ebb and flow. And Penn has a 1-point lead on St. Joe after 3 on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week brought to you in part by the electrical workers of Local 153. They're making our community brighter. Downstairs we go for a J.V. Macri Orthodontics sideline report. Bill Beck, I'm surprised you haven't put on a helmet and pads for protection down there.
I haven't got enough life insurance for this game, Chuck, right now. I have to get on another policy. And that goes to what I was thinking in this game. We talked coming in about all the offensive prowess of these two teams, the amount of points they put up game in and game out. I'm impressed. You look at the scoreboard right now, 36-35, and you look at Cameron Burr of Penn in that third quarter, really never got to touch the ball well in the offensive set. St. Joe really stepped up the defense like Rick Mouch wanted to in that quarter.
Bill made a great point there about Cameron Burr. Really didn't touch the ball at all. Didn't even score in that quarter, I believe. And a low-scoring game, and it's one of those field goal percentages kind of dropped from that 38.
Well, you see, defense is a hallmark of this Penn team. They're second in the state in defense at 31-5. And you say, okay, well, I don't see St. Joe on that list. St. Joe only gives up 35 points a game, so they're not far from being on that list. 1-point Penn lead as we start the fourth quarter. The winner gets first place in the Northern Indiana Conference with just one game to go. Mouch handles the ball up top where she has to fight through a trap. Carpenter for a lefty layup. And St. Joe has the lead. Doy on the wing to Solomon. And the senior will set things up top. A nice little 1-4 set here for Christy Koneski-Ulrich's team. And they got Klein loose underneath for 2. Boy, that was a well-designed play. Klein with 14. That's her first basket of the second half.
She's got almost, I believe, all of her points as layups as well, or drives to the bucket.
So it's Penn by 1 with Applegate handling the ball up top. Normally you don't see a 6-footer dribble this much. O'Connor got loose underneath for 2. Everybody got distracted by Applegate, and Abby O'Connor gets her first basket of the game.
And a little press here by St. Joe, too, is see if they can get Penn out of sync a little bit and maybe have a turnover.
Bohr now goes down the baseline, got the bucket and the bump. I think the foul came from behind by O'Connor. We'll see how Richard Gunn saw it. Yeah, that's what he saw, too. And Cameron Bohr will go to the foul line for the second time tonight. You get another copy of this one courtesy of Adams Remco. Look at the strength she shows and how she split that defense, and that's where O'Connor got her right on top of the hand.
What I liked about that was just the great way she was able to split the two defenders there and really go through them and still be strong enough to get that shot off.
Cameron Board just playing with a lot more confidence this year and a high motor. And it's really shown in the last month of the season. She has 12 points tonight. And Penn is up 2 with 6:36 to go in regulation. Mouch's pass tipped and stolen by Klein. And Rick Mouch will go to his bench at the next dead ball. Konechny trying to hawk Solomon. Last time, Klein was able to come loose on a screen. They cleared out this time for Solomon, and she's fouled by Carpenter.
This is good defense by Carpenter on that one. If she wouldn't have, at that last moment there, went ahead and thrown her hands at the ball. She got in front of Solomon. Solomon did a great job driving and used body control to really get that call as well.
Solomon is a 70% free throw shooter. She's headed to Furman to play soccer down there, as she misses the first, and Daly Sullivan will check back in for St. Joe. She was a 3-year soccer captain and all-state player in the state of Indiana, helped Penn to the state finals this season. As you see Carpenter check out. And the assist leader on this team, but she missed both free throws. Bohr got a one-handed rebound and put it in. She fought off 3 Lady Indians for the ball. Konechny could not see Mouch streaking towards the basket. Now Konechny tries to take it in, and Penn collapsed on her, so she stepped back out and hits the shot, and Rick Mouch will burn another timeout. Nicole Konechny with 17 tonight, keeping St. Joe within striking distance. They trail by 2 with 5:46 to go. Look at the effort on both sides here. It's been a great game of the week. This edition of the 46th Game of the Week brought to you in part by Sweeney Julie. Give them a call at 247-1234 or online at theverdict.com.
Yeah, the Apostolate of Divine Mercy and Service of Human Life offers legal, medical, spiritual, and financial assistance to mothers so that they can choose life for their babies. The Apostolate of the Chapel of Divine Mercy are located at the Life Center in South Bend. And if you're interested in getting involved or donating, call or text 574-286-7860.
I think I mentioned earlier that the March for Life would be tomorrow. Well, that's tomorrow as we play this game. It was today as you watch it. A couple of the St. Joe players, Konechny and Sullivan, were going to try to go out to Washington for the National March, but with the weather out there, they've decided discretion is the better part of valor. Scoring, offense, both of these teams, as you've seen at times tonight, can rack it up. Penn averaging 65 a game, St. Joe 63, both well below. But how about what Terry Minix and the Oregon Davis Bobcats averaging 83 a game in a 32-minute contest? Are you kidding me?
High school girls basketball averaging 83 a game in northern Indiana at a 2A school. Really a 1A school that's...
they got moved up to 2A because of success.
Yeah. What a great job he's done with that program and the girls in northern Indiana basketball.
They got some players down there. Lexi Minix, Kylie Kubik. Backdoor pass for Burr is good for 2. Cameron Burr finding her stride. She's got 16. Penn almost cheating off of some of the St. Joe players that they don't really consider as offensive weapons, so that they can try to double up on players like Sullivan and Konechny. Sullivan with a big bucket and bump. She had been quiet in the second half, had not scored in this stanza, but she'll go to the line to try to complete the three-point play as you get another copy courtesy of Adams Remco.
That was a great shot by Daly there. She was able to come in, get the bump. First basket, as you said, in the second half, and they needed that.
71% free throw shooter makes it a 1-point game.
1 point, 5 minutes to go in the game. What a great game we're having this week for the game of the week.
Carlton drives on Sullivan. Stolen by Sullivan. She ripped it right out of her hands. And then Daly has it poked away by Klein. Here comes Klein the other way. and tried to feed Carlton underneath and put it right off her foot. And Christy Ulrich telling her team to slow down.
Looked like, St. Joe wants to get up and down the floor, and that's the pace that they were there for the last about a minute and a half.
I was just getting ready to say,
Yep.
St. Joe has really been able to dictate the pace most of the game.
They sure have. Well, score big with the low-rate TCU Visa Platinum credit card. Don't miss out on a good play and apply online today at tcunet.com/credit cards and see TCU Visa Platinum terms and conditions for complete details.
Bohr works on Applegate. A lot of great one-on-one matchups in this game. Klein tried to go to the back door. Sullivan read it well. Now a three on the way by Bohr is off the mark. The rebound to O'Connor. Sullivan with numbers and a timeout called by Rick Mouch. Oh, I think he might want to have that one back when he looks at the tape. But he took it, and we will too. 4:02 to go in regulation, and Penn clinging to a 1-point lead on St. Joe on 46. And this edition of the 46 Game of the Week brought to you in part by Imagineering Finishing Technologies, the industry knowledge source for metal finishing solutions. Aerospace and defense continue to rely on the great team at IFT. We're all working towards a great finish. Chuck Freeby, Bo Hunt, Bill back with you from Alumni Gym on the campus of St. Joe High School, where Penn leads St. Joe 45-44 in a battle of state powers, really. Both of these teams ranked number 3 in their respective classes. Penn in 4A, St. Joe in 3A. And when you look at the tourney trail, it's very easy to envision both of these teams perhaps getting to a semi-state. And then you've got major roadblocks for both of them. In the case of Penn, it could be Homestead. In the case of St. Joe, it could be Heritage Christian.
Well, and that's exactly right. And I think this is a great opportunity for both these teams to prepare for that in this game.
Solomon with a huge steal and bucket. And Penn is up 3. Sullivan just couldn't get separation against Solomon that time. And it wasn't the best of passes. Now O'Connor in the corner. Remember, St. Joe has burned 3 timeouts already.
Now, Penn's doing a good job of really double down in that corner and really putting the pressure on St. Joe to really come out a little bit farther, and the backside pass is open, but Penn's kind of trying to suck you into that so they can get the backcourt steal.
Each team with 2 timeouts left. Daley Sullivan tries to work inside, finds O'Connor. Now Scott patiently waits for a 3-point shooter. Applegate found Konechny open. She drives on Solomon, who shut it off nicely. Camera Solomon just uses her body so well, especially on defense. O'Connor dumps it off for Konechny for the layup. She's got 19.
What a great pass. Good finish by Nicole, Nicole as well.
Clock stops and a substitution will come in for St. Joe as Mouch takes the place of O'Connor with 3:02 to go. You get another copy of that beautiful pass by O'Connor to Konechny on the Adams-Remco replay. Carlton looking for a backdoor cut. Now Solomon on the wing, drives on Scott. Couldn't connect, but got her own rebound. Still no good. Carlton underneath for 2. She's done that throughout the night. Six points for Claire Carlton and a covey of rebounds. Now Mouch trying to work on Klein, needs help. Whipped it outside, ball tipped away by Solomon, but Konechny was able to get it. Rick Mouch calls out 4 from the sideline. Sullivan scoops it off the underside of the rim. Penn has numbers going the other way. But Solomon will slow it up, and Christy Konechny-Ulrich wants a full timeout with 2:04 to go in regulation.
Head coach Mike Lightfoot and the Bethel Pilots invite you to join them for a game this season on the campus of Bethel College in Mishawaka. Bring the entire family and enjoy a game of college basketball at its finest. You can visit them at bethelcollege.edu for a complete basketball schedule, and the Pilots would like to wish the teams a great game tonight.
Our partner Bob Nagel has a Notre Dame women's game as we tape this on Thursday night, and he has another one Sunday afternoon as the Fighting Irish entertain the Hokies of Virginia Tech at Purcell Pavilion. 1 o'clock for the tip-off. You can catch all the action on your home of the Fighting Irish women's team, Pulse FM. And a great crowd here tonight for women's basketball as well. It has certainly been a great year in the area. We talked about Oregon Davis. Tony Stasiak's got another terrific team down at Rochester. They're ranked number 2 in the state. And even in 1A, you see teams like South Central and Argus and Michigan City Marquette. The girls' game really starting to grow in ability, and hopefully it will soon grow in power. Going into Friday night, but who knows what will happen. Chad Johnston's team, though, has the upper hand on everybody else in the NIC. Penn to inbound, leading by 3 with 2:04 left, and I got to think perhaps the Kingsmen want to try to take the air out of the ball a little bit. St. Joe in a situation where any foul sends the Kingsmen to the line for a 1-and-1. St. Joe with kind of a 1-3-1 zone here. Solomon throws over the top to Bohr. At some point, you got to think the Lady Indians are going to have to come out and start fouling people. Bohr would not be my first choice. Solomon might be. She missed a couple of free throws early. Bohr in the trap. There's Klein.
Well, at this point, you got to probably get out of that zone and kind of go up to man. And you see they just kind of switched right there.
Penn more than content to take some time off the clock with this 3-point lead. And then throws it away. Well, that's what Rick Mouch wanted to make them do, was throw that over the top pass. Now he'll put in one of his 3-point shooters in Daley Sullivan. Solomon tried to lob that pass over to Carlton in the corner, and the problem is she ain't Shaq. So now you don't have to go for the 3 here of St. Joe if you're St. Joe, but you got to get something out of this possession.
Well, you definitely have to get something out of this possession, and you'll see Penn, they'll probably going to be up in their face on that 3-point line as well. That
was one of their keys to win, defend the 3-point shooters. Sullivan into the lane, tough shot, but she hit it. She has 11, it's a 1-point game.
And she was open at the top of the key there for the 3, but it's decided to take the drive.
I think she's lost a little confidence in her 3-point shot. They haven't been dropping. Solomon calls a timeout with 42.2 seconds remaining. We'll keep it right here.
Well, again, we'd like to thank Barnaby's for feeding our crew tonight. What a great job. Cole's finishing up the rest of the Barnaby's over here, and here we'll see another copy of it by Adams Remco.
That's where Bo was talking about Sullivan being open, but she had her mind made up that she was going to drive down the lane. Let's go down to Bill Beck for a Dr. Macri orthodontic sideline report. Give us some insight, Bill. What do you think Christie's talking about in that Penn huddle right now?
Well, they got to figure out a way to make sure they take care of the basketball here. They don't want to get themselves trapped on the baseline or on the sideline over here. And that turnover on the pass there in the last Penn possession changes, obviously, the entire last minute, 9 seconds of this game. They could have waited out the rest of the clock if they don't make that pass. And that was a great timeout at 2:04 by Penn. That was timeout called because everybody on the floor was just flat gassed. They needed a time for a quick blow and get back in the game, and it's a terrible possession for Penn coming out of the break.
It seems odd to say, but the 3A team seems to have a little more depth than the 4A team does.
And they do. It is kind of weird to say that because a lot of times you'll see Penn, they will play more than just 6 girls or 7 girls. They will go 8, 9 deep, but St. Joe does have that. It'll be interesting here, down by 1. Penn's going to probably try to separate it or try to waste some time and things like that. Does St. Joe try to foul here? Solomon hasn't been great at the free throw line tonight.
Well, that would be the person that I would put there if I were St. Joe, but we'll see how Rick Mouch decides to play this. He's got Carpenter guarding Solomon right now. Now, Solomon blew by Carpenter a little bit earlier, but that's not happening here. Bohr in the corner. Winds up getting double teamed. O'Connor stripped it. Ball loose. It is off of Penn. It is St. Joe ball.
24.6 seconds left. St. Joe ball down by 1.
And Rick Mouch will go to his bench. Carpenter, who was put in for defense, comes out. Applegate goes in. Scott replaces Mouch to give him a little more offensive rebounding. Applegate will trigger the inbound. This has not been easy for St. Joe to get inbounds passes, but they'll find Sullivan here. 24 seconds left. Sullivan got a step on Solomon now. Solomon with a foul there, but remember, Penn's got a lot of fouls to give.
It's only their 4th foul at this point. They still have 2 more to give before St. Joe even gets in the bonus.
Kim Curry getting an earful from Rick Mouch right here. And a timeout taken by St. Joe. They'll have 1 left, 19.6 seconds remaining. And we've had a couple of good weeks here on Game of the Week, haven't we?
We sure have. I mean, these last 2 weeks, maybe we need to take 3 weeks off at Christmas every year, you know. We take 3 weeks off, and we've had 2 of the best basketball games the last 2 weeks that we've had in a long time.
Well, we could have another good one next week as we take a look at what's looking ahead for us. Number 7 Warsaw visits number 3 Northwood. The Tigers go into tonight undefeated. They got to go to McEwen Gym and play Concord. Not always easy. Northwood has looked very strong this year. Friday night 11, Saturday morning at 9. Northern Lakes Conference first place on the line. And if you want a copy of tonight's game, just go to WHME.com and click sports, and you can order your very own personal DVD copy.
You got Warsaw there at number 7. They beat Marion earlier this week, and so they could be moving up even higher than that number 7 ranking. Northwood, we've seen them. They are very talented as well.
The one thing here for St. Joe, because of the diversity of their offense, Konechny, Sullivan, Applegate, all viewed as shooters by this team, and even O'Connor to an extent. It's not as though they have to go to Konechny. I think the way she's played tonight, that might give you the most comfort, but that she doesn't have to take the last shot.
No, not at all. And look for maybe them to get her the ball and maybe dish it off to somebody as well.
Sullivan with the left hand. Penn does not have a timeout left. Klein, charge.
Fourth one.
Savannah Scott took the charge for St. Joe, and listen to Alumni Gym. Now, here's one thing you need to know about St. Joe. They are only a 59% free throw shooting team. And Hannah Mouch is less than 50%. She's one of their guards.
Penn still has to foul twice before, or one more time, and then before they're even in the bonus.
And
so
they will foul
sometime
quickly.
Yep, sometime will be coming off the clock each time.
Solomon just picked up her 4th, so she has to be a little bit careful here if she's going to stick around in this one. That's the 6th foul now on Penn, so everything else creates bonus. Chris will quickly check into the game for the Kingsmen and take the place of Carlton. That gives them a little more height. They'll put Chris on the inbound passer. That's a smart move because O'Connor cannot move. Konechny nearly fell down. O'Connor takes the last time out for St. Joe with 5.9 seconds remaining.
The time actually ran off. There was 6 point, I believe 4, and they're actually calling that as well.
Yeah. A little anticipation on the part of the home side timekeeper. Actually, I'm not sure if the officials have caught that yet or not.
I know the Penn bench caught that right away.
Yeah, Amanda Bender's over talking to the scorers table. We want to remind you Saturday night on TV 46, we have college hockey for you. I know a lot of you are basketball fans, but tell you what, hockey, when you get Minnesota and Wisconsin going on the ice, that's a fun matchup. And we are happy to have it for you Saturday night at 8 on your home for the American Sports Network, TV 46. 5.9, they make it 6.3 seconds remaining here at Alumni Gym. St. Joe up by 1 and in possession of the basketball, but they've got to trigger it inbound. O'Connor looks and finds Mouch, and Mouch hangs on for dear life as she gets mugged in the corner. And now the coach's daughter, the senior, who is only a 48% free throw shooter on the year, goes to the line. You heard the interview at halftime. She said playing for her dad has been a delight. She's had a lot of fun. So is that one. Rosie Freeby on the St. Joe bench trying to urge on her classmate right here.
Well, what a great moment for these seniors and juniors as well on both sides of these, whether it's Lady Kingsmen or the Indians, for a conference championship here. And you talk about 48%, that means she's due to hit, correct?
Well, she's 1 of 2 tonight. She's had 6 points, including a key three-pointer. The coach's kid with 1 in the bonus. Missed it. Rebound, Bohr. Bohr will try to take the last shot. No, she passed it, and it's all over. Time runs out, and St. Joe has won it. For the first time since 2007, St. Joe gets a girls basketball win over Penn. They knock off the Kingsmen 50-49, and we'll talk with some of the jubilant Indians after this on 46.
This TV 46 Game of the Week has been brought to you by the following.
For the first time since 2007, St. Joe gets a girls basketball win over Penn 50-49 in a real nail-biter tonight at Alumni Gym. And now the Lady Indians lead the Northern Indiana Conference. Chuck Freeby and Bo Hunt high atop courtside. What a ball game.
What a great game we have for you tonight. The last possession, I'm still just stunned over the last possession. You have one of the best basketball players in the area, and she passes it up. I was very surprised that she didn't take that shot.
I think maybe she lost track of the time. That's easy to do in those last-second situations. But give credit to St. Joe, too. They made a lot of key shots tonight. Daly Sullivan with that go-ahead hoop. And the player of the game, well, she's standing by now with Bill Beck.
Earlier, TV 46 player of the game, Nicole Knesny of St. Joe, 50-49 over Penn. Talk about that last-minute possession to get the ball down at the other end.
I cannot be prouder of my team. I mean, we just left it all out there. We wanted this game. It just really came down to everything that we've been doing in practice, just our defense. And Coach Rick always hammers us on defense, and it really pays off when we get the ball back. And I just like our team just came together so well, and I'm just so proud of all of our girls and coaches. And
the first half you guys played kind of sloppy. It looked like you wanted the ball and you were determined to really make some things happen in the second half.
Yeah, I just after losing to them for the past 2 years, you know, it really just gave me some motivation, and our team was just really pumped, and we all came together and worked really hard, and coach has been prepping us for a long time for this moment, and yeah, so we're just super excited and blessed to have came out on top this time.
Well, good luck in the tournament. Congratulations. Back to you, Chuck and Bo.
All right, thank you very much, Bill. 19 points tonight for Nicole Knesny. She did a great job picking up the offense, especially in the second half, keeping St. Joe within striking distance. And, well, Rosie Freeby, one of those 5 seniors up on the wall. They'll be honored Tuesday night against Culver Academy, their final home game. But they still have some work to do in the NIC. They have to go to Washington next week and beat the Panthers there. They'll need more plays like they got in our smart cabinetry, smart play of the game. Savannah Scott didn't do much offensively in this game, but she was a big factor on defense, including on this play.
Well, it was a great play by Savannah Scott here. You can see Klein coming down. She stayed in possession, and then you can see she took the charge, and that was just a great job of getting position and getting in front, getting her feet set and taking that charge.
And going straight up with the arms rather than the roof, which I think is what Klein was hoping for, to draw the contact and go to the line. So St. Joe wins it 50-49. Rick Mouch's team still with only 1 loss on the season. And they get a victory over the number 3 team in Class 4A. It should give them a world confidence going into the tournament. And by the way, don't forget, fans, that girls basketball tournament draw is Monday night Should be very interesting to see what the matchups are around the area. Our thanks to our TV46 crew who helped bring you this one today, led by Joe Fratina in the director's chair, along with Tony Beltran. Oh. My bad. What the heck?
This TV46 Game of the Week has been brought to you by the following.
Well, they're still celebrating a 50-49 St. Joe win over Penn. The Lady Indians with their first victory over the Lady Kingsmen since 2007, now in sole possession of the lead in the NIC. Chuck Freeby and Bo Hunt high atop Alumni Gym. What a ball game tonight.
What a great game. And, you know, it still comes down to, you know, these two teams are two of the best teams in northern Indiana, and they proved it tonight. What a great game we had, and what a great matchup it was.
Daly Sullivan hit the go-ahead shot, but the player of the game, well, she's standing by now with Bill Beck.
Earlier, TV46 player of the game, Nicole Knesny of St. Joe, 50-49 over Penn. Talk about that last-minute possession to get the ball down at the other end.
I cannot be prouder of my team. I mean, we just left it all out there. We wanted this game. It just really came down to everything that we've been doing in practice, just our defense, and Coach Rick always hammers us on defense, and it really pays off when we get the ball back. And I just, like, our team just came together so well, and I'm just so proud of all of our girls and coaches. And
the first half, you guys played kind of sloppy. It looked like you wanted the ball, and you were determined to really make some things happen in the second half.
Yeah, I just, after losing to them for the past 2 years, you know, it really just gave me some motivation, and our team was just really pumped, and we all came together and worked really hard, and Coach has been prepping us for a long time for this moment, and yeah, so we're just super excited and blessed to have came out on top this time.
Well, good luck in the tournament. Congratulations. Back to you, Chuck and Bo.
And Nicole Knesny, our IU South Bend, fulfilling the promise player of the game. Rosie Freeby and the rest of the St. Joe seniors will get honored Tuesday night, but they still have work to do in the NIC. They've got a big road game at Washington on Thursday night to make sure that they win the conference outright. They'll need big plays in this game. They got a big play on defense from Savannah Scott towards the end, and that's our smart cabinetry, smart play of the game.
Well, they definitely did, and it was a great job, as you'll see here, the smart cabinetry, smart play of the game, and what great defense getting in front of Klein here and taking that charge, momentum changer, and the smart play of the game.
Scott goes straight up with the hand. She didn't roof Klein. Klein was hoping to draw the contact, but instead gets called for the charge. And it was a turning point play in the game for the Indians, who hang on to win it 50-49. So both these teams expected to make great runs in the girls tournament. That girls tournament draw will be on Monday night. It'll be very interesting to see how things get sorted out. And this gym that we're in right now will be the site of one of the Class 3A sectionals. Our thanks to our entire TV46 crew who brought you this one, led by the bubbly one, Champagne Tony Beltran, and our usual outstanding cast of characters. A reminder that TV46 brings you college basketball at noon on Saturday as High Point takes on Liberty. And at 8 o'clock Saturday night, it's college hockey, a battle in the Big Ten as Minnesota takes on Wisconsin. For high school sports, next Friday night, this is the place to be because we've got a big matchup in the Northern Lakes Conference as number 7 Warsaw takes on number 3 Northwood. You'll see it Friday night at 11 and Saturday morning at 9. Now, once again, for my broadcast partners, the Hall of Famers, Bill Beck and Bo Hunt, Chuck Freeby, the final score, St. Joe 50, Penn 49. So long from South Bend.